And for today's informative speech, I will be presenting about Madam C.J. Informing you about Madam C.J. Walker. So throughout the course of history, we've had a lot of, we had many firsts, like the first president, the first female to fly across the world or whatever. And so Madam C.J. Walker was also a first. She was the first female who was also African American to become a millionaire. So this is Madam C.J. Walker, and so today I will be telling you history, her background, her history, and how she became an entrepreneur, and from there how she paved the way for females and African Americans in general. Madam C.J. Walker, she was born as Sarah Breedlove. She was born in December 23rd, 1867. She was born to, her parents were slaves. She was the first out of 5 kids to be born free during her time. And her parents died around the age 7, and then she became an orphan. And then she had orphan parents who were like farm pickers and stuff like that. And then she didn't like it, so she ended up moving with her sister and her brother-in-law. And from then, when she moved with her sister and her brother-in-law, she didn't like it. She was mistreated by her brother-in-law. He treated her poorly. He abused her. So she left. She ran away from her sister and her brother-in-law, and she married. She married at the age of 14, and she had a daughter. Her name was Layla. And so she married, and she had a daughter. So she had to work. She was a washerwoman, and she ended up, and her husband at the age of 20, her husband ended up dying. So she was a widow. So then from there she moved with her brothers who were barbers, and she also just had a typical women's job, like just being a washerwoman, and she just tried to help herself. And she remarried again when she moved in with her brother. She remarried, but this time when the person she married, he was abusive. He took advantage of her, and she didn't like that. So she seeked out help from middle-class black women, and they motivated her, and they told her, and helped her improve her life, and they told her she should improve her life to benefit her daughter as well. So from then on, Sarah Breedlove, so she felt like she needed to get out of the situation, and so she was gonna do something about it. She didn't know what she was gonna do, but she was gonna do something about it. So she continued working. Didn't get paid. She got paid like I think $1 a week-ish. So she didn't get paid very much, but back then that's how much they got paid. And she was a female. She was African American. There was discrimination. There was segregation. There was a lot of obstacles for her not to make it out in life, not to her to do very well for herself or even become middle class. She was supposed to stay poor. So now I will move on to how she became an entrepreneur. So by the age of 30, she started losing her hair out of stress, out of a lot of things. She started losing her hair, and she developed a scalp disorder. And from the scalp disorder, she went out to look at products, but the products weren't really good for her type of hair. It was very dry, and for the scalp disorder, there wasn't much treatment for it. So she started to do home remedies, mixing vegetables, oils, all this type of stuff. That's what she began to do, and she got her entrepreneurship skills. She became an entrepreneur because she set out. She had a vision. Her vision was to help women, and help herself first with the scalp disorder and her hair fallout. So she began mixing remedies, and she ended up finding a solution. She ended up finding a remedy for her scalp disorder and hair fallout, and noticed that her hair was growing back. And from then on, she gave it to her friends, and it worked. Her friends liked it as well. So that was kind of her vision. She wanted to do something with that. She wanted to sell it. She wanted to advertise it. She wanted to put it out there for the public to use. And also for her, she can gain money out of it. So then she got a job working for this hair company as well, for dedicated for black women, for black women's hair. And from then on, she met her husband Charles, Charles J. Walker, and he helped her because he worked for a black newspaper, and he helped her by advertising her hair products, and because he believed in her vision, and he helped her by advertising it out. And she also went on and went to the neighborhoods, knocked on doors, and gave them samples to try out her product, and then they ended up buying it. So she started making money. She made $10 a week, and back then for her, and back then in general, that was a lot of money, $10. And then through the newspaper advertisement, it worked. Her husband, Charles J. Walker, it worked. So then she started selling out to the United States in general. She started off in Washington. Her business took off to the United States. And then from there, she started making $35 a week. And that was a lot of money. So now finally, how she paved for females and African Americans in general. During her time, her sales peaked around 1905. So there was still a lot of segregation and discrimination towards females and black people in general. So she paved the way for females and black people because she made something. She had a vision, and she and she started making good money out of it. She started selling products rapidly, more than the usual. She started actually making more money than an average white man. And then she started making more 20 times as much as an average black middle class man. And so she paved the way for females in general because they looked at her and saw, like, if she can do it, I can do something. Not necessarily with hair products, but like just doing stuff in general. And that moves me on to the next. Oh, so that's, to get it general, that's her hair product. That was like her original hair product. And so she started paving the way for the first American women to fly in space in 1992. And then these are just two businesswomen. She's the CEO of General Motors, and she's the chief executive of Pepsi-Cola. So that's like, she paved the way for today because there's a lot of, there's a lot of big businesswomen now. That concludes our presentation.